We're gonna blow some smoke. I mean some dust. We're gonna blow smoke. Smoke in the door. Smoke. We're gonna blow the door. We're gonna blow cappuccinos. Cappuccinos. Cappuccinos.
Chill.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to VFX and Chill. I am here with the fantastic three, myself, I guess, Seth over here, and Michael down here. And I think we make a pretty good team. We love to get together on Fridays and recreate visual effects from movies and TV shows. And let me check in with my two friends here. How are you both doing? Seth, Michael?
I'm good. I am finishing up that little last minute task I had to do, and I am done. Hi, Michael, how are you, buddy?
I'm pretty good. I had a lovely Valentine's weekend. How did you all do something lovely for your significant others?
I got some respiratory infection. That was cool, which is why I was not here last week. But anyway, I am happy to be here now. But yeah, it's not the most romantic thing, but we still had a good time. We enjoy having some... That's perfect. That's a better summary than I was going to give. Seth, how was your exciting show this week?
Show this week was fine. I am excited that we got permission to take a break after you got sick because I'm very excited about today's episode. We've been now prepping this show for 2 weeks, really, because all last week we spent prepping for this episode with some very fun stuff planned, and then you got sick, and I didn't want to come up with something lame last second. So instead, we just pushed to this week. And guys, what a show we have for you this week. What are we talking about?
I'm excited. Well, there are a lot of superhero movies out there, as everybody knows, but there is one
Not enough.
Group that I feel like doesn't have enough representation in film. Perhaps you've heard of them. They are called the Fantastic Four.
The First Steps.
They're being introduced to us. First Steps, clearly the first in
all the
series
steps
of Fantastic Four films. Why don't we take a look at this Redix trailer?
Excuse me? I'm not sure what's in this trailer that you saw, but for me, it's
I love just the opening of the trailer.
Wait, these look like real shots. Oh, so maybe excited. I saw the AI one that has like 4 billion views.
Oh, I mean, my God, there's so many AI trailers online today. Like, that's where they start. They start to take
Is it
over.
like it's
by the
HK
trailers.
Studios or something like that?
Yeah,
Has,
and
like,
I'm not going to applaud
it's-
them, but
it-
it is impressive, the output. I don't
is.
know if it's actually, now I'm thinking about it, because it's generated. Anyway, so
Yeah, I mean, if you want, the best home for homemade trailers is obviously right here, the VFX and Chill YouTube channel, where we just released the official Mission in Hospital 2, or I don't know what to call it.
well, I know it's
Spinal
confusing because
trailer.
we want to do Mission in Hospital. We'd like to do ones for all the Mission Impossibles, but we named the one for Dead Reckoning just Mission in Hospital. So now we got to figure out how to go back and name all these previous ones. But the new one is Mission in Hospital, the Spinal Reckoning. Please go watch it. I'm sure Michael's putting it in the chat. And while you're watching it, make sure you are watching this on youtube.com/@VFXandChill, our official YouTube channel. That's where the fun chat is. Speaking of the chat,
Exactly.
if you're
Yeah,
there,
we're broadcasting to a lot of places. You might be on Red Giant or Maxon or Action Movie Kids or wherever. But we would if you do us a solid and come over to the official channel, you can talk with all of our lovely friends who are
Regulars, yeah.
absolutely.
Speaking of our lovely regulars, Patrick GG is saying, VFX aside, who's doing the music for you guys? The intro cappuccino track slapped.
Well, I'll
Dang,
tell you,
that is our good friend Hank Davidson Esquire.
We're gonna
Junior
blow
the
some
third.
smoke. We're gonna blow some smoke.
you mean this
I mean,
guy?
some dust.
Yeah, that's me. It's just this dumb little beat.
You can
thing I've got.
find Hank Davidson Esquire on
Instagram.
all your music loving platforms.
Oh yeah, I forgot they're
It's
publicly
on
available.
Apple Music. It's on Spotify. It's on all those things. I think.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
I found yeah. So you can find some of these hits in your car by just saying.
I'm gonna
"Hey,
name the
girl,"
next album
to
that
your-
some of these hits. I think that's a pretty
Some of these
Android
fantastic
hits.
album name.
your Android CarPlay, whatever you've got going on. Oh, and Road Studios is in the chat making an animated film. Hello, Road Studios. Glad to hear. Matthew McCleskey saying, Seth, how does your hair do that?
Well, I wish I had
A
made a
lot of
drop for the thing that
happening
Hashi
things in
made.
the chat.
If you want to find out how
Yeah.
my hair gets this way, watch the special edition of our 2 weeks ago Jurassic World episode. It's on the VFX and Chill channel. There's the special edition of the Creating CG Dinosaurs, and there's a little clip right at the beginning that gives away my secret, my hair secret.
That was a great tease.
Ah, yes, thank you. It's working.
Hey,
So-
there it is.
Back to
So-
the fantastic.
Back to the Fantastic Four. Fast and
I
the Furious.
enjoy
Just
the fact
fantastic.
that
Look at those astronaut shots. They're so great.
yeah, like there's a lot of fun
Retro
stuff in here.
vibe.
Whole trailer.
This, what is this flame boy? What is his
Flame
name?
on guy. Johnny Flame.
Flamon guy. Johnny Flamon guy.
Johnny Storm.
Johnny
So-
Storm. Cool.
So Johnny Flamon guy Storm does this stuff, which I mean, it's like we could do this, obviously, with
Yeah, right click, add pyro, done.
I actually did some of that. I don't think I rendered any of it, but
and also
I did
we
have
can-
an 83 gigabyte Alembic
Breakfast?
collection, though,
Oh. Incredible.
which is why our folder got a little unwieldy.
Big fan of all the production design in this. This mid-century stuff is really, really fun.
Yes.
The cast
And it's
is
cool.
cast is
the car.
solid.
I gasped at the car. Cast is solid.
Uh,
You like the cast? Yeah, that car right there.
car
Love
is
that
great.
Rock solid.
And then
I
John
feel like
Malcolm
the,
solid, right? Is that who that is? No, who is that?
Being Johnny Storm. I don't know.
Being Johnny Flamankovich. And then wait, is that Buzz Lightyear like hovering over his shadow?
It's Zurg, Emperor Zurg.
Oh, incredible! I love that Disney now owns everything. This is gonna be fun. My favorite effect in this, though, is
Everybody says that
this.
you've not yet seen Fantastic Parts 1 through 3 yet.
Of course, my
I
favorite
think it'll be
effect
fine.
is this guy right here, this robot. Like clearly the most impressive thing in this trailer is this robot, right? Like there's
cool
nothing
little
else
robot.
in this frame that looks cool or is interesting.
Seth is making fun of me because I watched this trailer and was like, I bet we could create that little tape recorder dude.
And I'm
And
like,
then, I
you see
apparently
this guy,
didn't know-
right?
Oh, that's an even better idea.
Well, I looked at it and I just thought, like, that looks like the Verneuil fracture stuff in Cinema 4D. Like, just his
Oh,
head
it
alone.
totally does.
And
Now, who's okay? We don't have Michael Chiklis this time. Who is
we don't know. It could
who is
be.
playing?
No, I believe it is Eben Moss-Backrack from The Bear, who is a character who, in just one single episode of season 2, goes from being my least favorite character to my absolute favorite character from almost any TV
Oh,
show.
Richie! Oh, Richie!
Yeah,
from
it's
the
Richie.
cooking show.
The cooking show. That's what The Bear should have
People
been
love to
called.
call it the cooking
Yes.
show. That
That's Eben Moss-Backrack.
like the cousin Richie.
Yeah, look here. I have a clip. I
Doesn't
actually
feel like
what?
I don't know. He doesn't feel like he's an interesting choice for like a superhero.
Are we getting a hot take? We never
I feel
get
like
hot
this
takes
is,
from
like,
Hashi.
funny.
Hashi is like, if you go back, I don't think you'll ever hear a hot take from a Hash take, which now I'm making a drop because, well, no, I'm not, because it never happens. Why? You don't think Eben Moss-Backrack is the right choice?
I mean, I love him on the Bear. I just like I would have never guessed.
Interesting. I'll tell you what, I have a clip. Why don't I find a clip? And we'll see what we think. I'm going to go off my
Excellent.
screen real quick.
The
'cause
Brunei fracture. The
I
alias
thought
of
I was
Dr.
going to plan
Doom.
for this, and then I absolutely...
I like that.
Let's see. Boop, bop, bop, boop.
Yeah. So what we have? There were the original. Were there 3 Fantastic Fours at Fox?
What?
Or and I'm trying to like no, there were the Jessica Alba and
Yeah. Oh, there was
Michael. There were 3. Was it 2 of them and then a Silver Surfer movie?
a Silver Surfer movie, and I believe there was or was that Avengers? There was that one that they had to make for copy, like to hold the option, where everyone's dressed in sheets, and it was like barely released. I don't know if that was Avengers or Fantastic Four. There was a Rise of Silver Surfer. I want to say, yeah, no, that's it. Fantastic Four, then a sequel that was Rise of Silver Surfer, and then there was the Miles Teller version.
I
Years later.
would argue that Deadpool and Wolverine
Sucks. I mean,
having a Fantastic Four character in it could potentially count that as a 4th film.
True. I don't. But the thing is, in order for it to count as a 4th movie, it also needs to count as a movie, which I don't think Deadpool and Wolverine does.
It was a sassy montage.
It was
I think
it
you'll
was a
find
sassy video
I think you'll
essay.
find Cinema Wins disagrees with you. Anyway, look, can we show you the clip that you sent?
Yeah. All right. Look. So here, if you're just tuning in,
I'm just
Hashi.
saying, like,
doesn't think
I love
Eben
the Bear,
Moss-Backrack.
and I love Richie the character, but I would have never imagined like the human rock monster superhero.
Interesting. Well, imagine this.
I joined a jazz fusion class, so in your face.
A, I've heard you f***ing play and you're f***ing terrible, and C, it's a f***ing restaurant. Why do I give a f*** that you play the keyboard?
I'm a hard worker. I'm a nice guy. I got a great vibe.
F*** your vibe.
Don't ever f my vibe.
I swear to God, I will f*** anything I want to f***.
How do you
Oh
think?
my
now?
gosh. You bleeped out all the times he said rock.
It's true.
That's great. That's amazing. Okay, I see it. I do see it now.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
Okay,
this is
oh my
what I
God.
think we should do on the show today.
So now that we've smoothly executed that bit,
It's my fault.
let's turn some humans into rocks. What do you say?
I say let's do it. This frame is so funny to me. Like it's
Will you play that one more time? Actually, now
Yeah,
that I know
let's
it's.
do
I mean, this is.
Nope, I turned it down. My bad. Boop bop boop bop boop boop.
I joined a jazz fusion class, so in your face.
Hey, I've heard you play, and you're terrible. And see, it's a restaurant. Why do I give a that you play the keyboard?
I'm a hard worker. I'm a nice guy. I got a great vibe.
Your vibe.
Don't ever my vibe.
I swear to God, I will anything I want to.
This looks so good. This close up. We're gonna walk through how we did all of this, by the way.
That's phenomenal.
But
I love
this
it.
frame,
and yes, he does look like a rock grover. We realize, like, without that head being seated on basically, like, he's like Mount Rushmore, basically. Like, he has big old shoulders, and this is a head sticking out.
It's the most Muppety thing. I like most like Muppety kind of rig that we've had done so far. But like this frame just looks like. It's so funny to me because one, he looks like a Muppet. Two, I don't think you're allowed to look like that and look at someone else so judgingly. Like, just the idea is like, absolutely, just the way he's staring daggers at Fack, as if Fack is the one in the scene who is weird. All right.
Amazing. Well, obviously, we needed ourselves some kind of 3D model base for all this. I think. See, I don't know if I saved them in prep anywhere, but at one point I was thinking maybe we could do this with like a displacement map on top of
the actual face.
On top of a face?
Faces. But
how would we do that? Hang on. Let's try. Should we? No, that's going to be a whole episode if we try that. I might try that just for fun while we jump to you doing stuff.
So I tried applying some rock textures and displacement maps to my Mix-A-Me character, and it didn't go, phenomenally. So I went the
that Muppety look though.
Yeah,
it's true. So I went the long route, which was like ironically, I think one of the very first things. The first day we tried ZBrush, I think I tried sculpting a little like rock monster dude. And so rock monster seems to be the like. Now during the course of this,
you've gone through Gremlins.
I'm proud of what I can accomplish in ZBrush. I don't know if many people would be proud of how I use ZBrush, but the final results can turn out okay.
And that's the VFX and chill mantra. The final results
There's probably
can turn out
some much more efficient way to do this. Like I kept on accidentally softening up the whole mesh and then having to go through and resharpening edges and things like that. And then I got them into Cinema 4D, which I should have opened ahead of time. But
well, so I mean, but talking about it. Well, no, keep going. Sorry. So you've got you brought them into cinema and you built. That's where I assume you textured it.
Started applying a handful of redshift textures. One of the cool things that we learned a little while ago was how to deal with kind of blending layers together. And I think the very first version of the texture I had on thing was this redshift texture. Let me see if I have enough juice. I'm running a couple of programs in the background here. All right, you can do it. Yeah. Okay, so the first version I did, I used some procedural textures on, which are kind of fun. There was a lot of geometry to help out the general shape of his head, and so I created a redshift material. It's wild.
Good Lord.
Wow. Did it fall at some point?
Well, to be honest, this is doing most of the work. It's like a color selector feeding into a color layer where I can mix a couple things together. And then one of the things doing the heaviest lifting is this curvature node that is feeding into my color layer. So if I click on the little S right there for solo, you can see what it is contributing to the texture, and it's a lot. It's basically taking whatever.
When you've got a sculpture, the curvature node can do some amazing effects, like you're doing here.
So cool. So I have a curvature layer, and then I added some Maxon noise. It's very tight, so you may not be able to see it very well, but it's overlaying through the color. So the kind of end result you get is this kind of rocky or waffly. He does look. I think
delicious.
That, we were commenting that his chin looked like a delicious like waffle.
Puget Systems on Blue Sky said from some of the example images we posted that they think they got the thing in their bucket of fried chicken.
Yes.
Zooming in close like this, it definitely looks more waffly.
So I did a few modifications over the course of time because I actually wanted to try to I tried to learn a little bit about exporting Redshift textures and the like. I ended up let me pull open some of my textures here. I can show you. Very exciting. Textures. So I went this crazy long route of doing some exports of things like the here's like a normals map that's sort of showing me these the edges and sort of where everything intersected, all little valleys on the head, which I then traced over to make a oh, oops, I forgot that's a TIFF, I guess. So it's opening in Photoshop now. Let me zoom in on these. Fine, I guess Photoshop is opening. But yeah, I did a little black outline of all the little rock shapes. And then I did stuff like I threw them into After Effects and added a vector blur to kind of shrink them inward and the CC glass effect. And then started a content-aware filling in other sections and painting other things darker, overlaying some stone textures, creating a fake normals map out of that image, and was able to combine them all into kind of a more like PBR-friendly shader, which ended up being this guy right here. Let's call him. Let's grab one of these plates from our thing. So yeah, now we have kind of like a rock with like little pits and valley texture on each of the pieces of geometry. My global light is really bright when I'm not in Redshift mode, but let me close down Photoshop before I start the IPR. There we go. So I got it to more around here. I did some more modifying of the mesh once we got it into Cinema 4D just to try to like sharpen some of these stones. My first model felt a little bit too, I don't know, watery. And so also I felt like it was a little bit off model, and I tried to bring him more on model. My weird secret there is that just as we do in our exciting moves by Maxon episode, I grabbed the mesh and added a handful of pose morphs to him. And on top of that, one of my cheats that I was going to mention was I have this little slider, which I've actually placed on the screen. It's called Pushed. And my original mesh looked a little bit more like, whoops, are they connected still? Maybe it's not connected. Edit, animate. Oh, maybe it doesn't show in this preview. Aww.
Oh, it all worked.
I'm not showing. Yeah. Okay, I'll open a simpler one.
Hashi, real quick while you're looking through files, Patrick GG is saying, why not use a broken rock texture over creating your own? Wouldn't the added extra effort of mapping it to the mesh add to the realism?
I thought about it, but I really wanted to mimic the specific rocks that he's made of in at least the one shot that I saw in the trailer. Oh yeah. Here's a really lousy or unshaded
This is
mode,
the paper
but I think that if I go
version.
to here we go. So I have this slider that took it from what I made, and it's called Pushed, and it just pushes his caricature to more, a little bit like bigger brow and some stuff like that. I also had a pose that just like sharpened up the rocks in him a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Stu says he's more eyebrow than man now. Stu Mash.
He really
in the
is.
Chat. Hi, Stu. Haven't
and
seen you forever, buddy.
Stu.
Hi, Stu.
So, yeah, he modeled this guy, added a bunch of blend shapes, and that was all so we could use our very favorite moves by Maxon. Oh, I remember why. I have a delay effector on here, so it's not updating the frames. So I just need to turn that off, and then I can go to edit mode.
We'll get into that for sure.
We will. So, yeah, that's sort of where I got this model. It had blend shapes that we could use moves by Maxon for, and shader to be able to render it out. You want to talk about what we did next, Seth?
Yeah. So the idea here was, we found this scene that we thought was the funniest to, the funniest option. Let me turn off the audio so we have to listen to it over and over. We pulled a couple scenes actually. If we have time, we'll get to the other one. But this was the funniest one to us. Because it plays like Fak is trying to join the Fantastic Four, which is very funny context to
Absolutely.
me.
And he pulls out like, I can play the keyboard well. I belong in this.
Which can I
we got an
please have
invisible
that
girl, a guy
version?
who catches on fire, stretchy man, and
I just want that version, and then Fak can kind of play the keyboard, the jazz keyboard.
kind of.
I mean, that is empirically a good movie. Like you cannot argue with me that there are any flaws in that concept. The other thing that I like, and we can't see it unfortunately, we weren't able to do it, but I love the idea that this version of Thing would we take this like the beef shirt that Richie always wears and just put a 4 on it, a big 4 logo. That's his like schleppy version of the Fantastic Four like wardrobe. All right, so
the Fantastic Four. How did we? Man,
yeah,
missed that.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you,
didn't know. We said it. We just didn't spread it. What? Spray it. Say don't spray it. Said it. Don't spread it. Doesn't mean the same thing. Anyways, so you're gonna do the facial performance itself with moves by Maxon, and we'll either get to that or you've kind of already covered it, and it's definitely covered extensively in multiple other VFX and Chill episodes. But the thing that moves by Maxon isn't going to do for us is tracking like his actual head, like putting the head onto his body and having it feel cohesive. And so as usual, I dropped this full clip into a comp, and I used After Effects' scene edit detection, which will, if I run
such a wonderful gift. It keeps on giving.
Yeah, you can say split layer at scene edit and create pre-comps. And so it created these pre-comps for me. And in them, I'm not going to do it here on the show, but Hashi and I really love this plugin, GeoTracker, that comes with a primitive like head model that you can track people's heads with. This was really useful throughout the production of Sketch, which I think we even covered a lot of it in some old VFX and Chill episodes. But what you can do is you can spit out a null object that then is tracked to the center of Richie's head with all of its rotational data and movement data, and it puts a camera in here too.
What?
So
wait, that sounds super handy to have.
Very handy.
So you can export right from Cinema 4D from After Effects to Cinema 4D. That's awesome.
You just go File, Export, a Maxon Cinema 4D exporter, and it'll say, "Hey, I found some 2D layers. I'm not going to take those. You know that, right?" And I say, "Okay, I'm good." And I drop it here, and I've actually already saved it so I can open it over here in Cinema, but you can see here in Cinema now it's got this a camera target, and the object track from null from GeoTracker, and that is what I'm going to hand off to you to work with.
Sounds great. All right, so let me see. So yeah, that's the frame count was wrong there. It was using the time code of After Effects for where to place the time. So yeah, so I just have this little null, and it's not, crazy helpful yet. But luckily, we had set up a thing head to react to a moves by Maxon input, which meant that Hashi got to watch these lines and then let me see if I can. Oh, I didn't. Maybe I didn't download the movie from my device. So then I got to go in and say, yes.
This reminds me of like my favorite bits, like where like when Letterman would have like Colin Hanks on the show and to be like, I think your dad is here, isn't he? And they go to a live feed of Tom Hanks backstage and be like, and then they'd be like, oh, you know what, Tom, we're not going to have any time to get to you. Sorry. And you just see him silently be like, just like mouthing. That's exactly what this looks like to me.
I love these. So I got to say these lines, doing my best to have the timing as close as possible. And that moves by Maxon object is right here, and it is linked to all of these blend shapes that I made through this espresso tag on a little null that I called controllers. You can kind of do this however you want, but so this looks complicated, but what's cool about it is that
it is.
Is that it is. This is actually all created by grabbing any mesh that has a bunch of blend shapes on it. Like, actually, no, you can just grab a mesh before it even has the blend shapes. You can add the moves pose morph helper tag to it, and then say create all pose morphs. And you'll see that there are some slots in here for what face capture file. You can drag in the moves by Maxon thing. You can drag in the espresso tag. You can drag in the pose morph tag right here and say create everything, and it automatically adds all of this.
Create everything!
Isn't that great? So basically, you then have a model with all of your pose morphs named, and you just need to go sculpt them, which we've done on some other live streams. And it's not.
Yes.
It's fun.
And if you
it's
want,
a fun little challenge.
There's a really fun one where they do singing raptors, and it's the title "The Best Moves by Maxon Video on the Internet," and the link for that is in the chat.
Oh, that's one of my favorite
is.
special editions.
So, how do we go from this file here to something that we can render out? Well,
we'll actually tell you right after this quick break.
Everything you were, everything you've done has come to this. That's the pattern, isn't it? You refuse to heed simple medical instructions.
You've always been on the right side, brother. I have no regrets. Neither should you.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
Having that plane behind him.
If you're just welcome back, if you're just joining us, we are making Thing from the Fantastic Four. Here is Hashi to show you where we're at now.
Exactly. So, in a more straightforward way, here is sort of the file that I created that was just the generic template. So it has a Moves by Maxon face that was imported through the extension Moves by Maxon.
A gentle, relaxing face.
Just chilling. But the fun thing about this is because of this espresso tag,
It's fine.
all of the pose morphs from this face are feeding into this face.
Oh, it's so good.
Look
Every
at
time.
that!
It's always so fun
Every
to watch.
time.
This is so fun. So basically, now I have this set up. So the template is here, which is neat, but I've got to somehow utilize what came out of After Effects over here. What's nice about what came out of After Effects is if I go to the render settings here, you'll see that the resolution is correct and the frame rate is correct for what you exported. So that's actually pretty helpful to start things off. The only problem is it exported as a standard renderer, and I want to use Redshift. So that's one of the first changes I need to make, is switching it over to a Redshift project. And then this camera right here, I need to turn into a Redshift camera, which you can open up the commander right here and say convert camera, and there's a command that converts all cameras to Redshift. And the reason why that's helpful is because once it's a Redshift camera, there are new options down here, including a background tab, where if you go to it, you can say, instead of using the render settings, override it with something else. And I'm going to override it specifically with one of these plates that I exported as a JPEG sequence. There we go. And once that's in there, you open up this little, you twirl down the image properties and switch it from image to animation, mode, simple, and then right down here you can say detect frames, and you'll see that it grabs the full frame range, and now you can watch your footage right in the thing, which is pretty cool. And if I'm looking at my object, it tracks perfectly with that, which is great. So very, very fun. So now I can go over to my Moves by Maxon template right here, and there are a handful of things that...
Alex Random says, this face has seen a thing or two, which I can't not call that out.
I mean, you can not call it out. It's possible.
So what I've got here...
When there's silence after I'm a dick, it really does just like... Sorry. Keep going, Ash.
So I have a whole bunch of things that are sort of working in here, including like a little Redshift, like environment light and some other stuff. I'm going to just grab the important 3D parts, which are the, things mesh and his two eyes, the Moves by Maxon face, because that's what it's linked to, and this null that has the controllers on it. If I grab all of these, I can copy them and then just come over to here and paste. And I'll say, yes, I want to use the global textures for these, and it will get them all loaded up for me. The only problem is it loaded very small, this thing right here. But what's nice is I have the face nestled in a null object right here. And if I click on this null object, if I went to just scale it like this, something weird will happen. I'll start scaling him, and it's hard to see, but his eyeballs just flew apart like that, and the face is staying exactly the same size. And that is because this has pose morphs on it. It has things that say the mesh should be this setting right now. So if I want to scale up this whole system, I go to this null object, and I switch from object mode to animation mode. And now I can grab the scale, and I can scale up his face just fine, which is pretty cool. And on top of that, I'm going to throw this whole null to be a child of the object tracking null. And I should have, whatchamacallit, zero that, or I can't remember if I had held down shift, if this would have been fine. I'm just going to manually reset its coordinates here. Oh wait, why did it do that? Oh, now do I have to go to model? Oh, I can't tell what I did there. No, don't do this to me. Okay, it's a child of that. She's not liking that it doesn't look like it's resetting. Let me switch to a default camera and back to camera 1. Oh, delay? No.
Did that delay again?
Oh, weird. Maybe I need to zero this out. No. Okay,
this is what happens when you
always
when you get somewhere, like, and do
Hashi,
a whole shot, and then you
hang on.
try to reteach it during a
Hashi.
show in the same project file where you originally created it, instead of just starting from scratch.
Go back to your scene, and I think you have the moves by Maxon moves the head around checkbox turned on.
Dang it, I do.
Just you need to turn that off.
Good point.
Classic.
So moves by Maxon by default will move the head mesh around to follow your head, but in this case, since we have a separate face performance from the head movement, we need to turn it off. So the moves by Maxon no longer follows Hashi's head around, but follows the tracked head around. So that's why it wasn't moving, because it's locked to its own performance. At least that's my guess.
Nice. I didn't save, so I am quickly redoing everything that I just did. But what that'll help you see is that it actually is not too bad a process to go through and just do this. Animation, simple, detect, doom. All right. So now we've got that. Moves by Maxon. Yes, I am totally constraining the face right here to the moves by Maxon head moving around. So I'm going to get rid of that constraint.
I was going to say there's a checkbox you can also untick, but sure.
There is. In the moves by Maxon face object, you can go down here and say ignore the rotation and offset, and that'll just hold the face totally still. So that is what
so you get all the facial animation, but without the head movement.
Precisely. So now, if I go to, I'll drag this null into this null, and now I ought to be able to actually zero it out. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, everybody. And once it's zeroed out, and I'm in animation, not object mode, I can scale up this whole head along with its blenched this pouty lid. So great. So now I can, because this whole system is parented to that null object, I'm just using the gizmos to kind of adjust it to find the right balance. And look at that. So now it's tracked to the face, which is pretty cool. But it needs the vocal performance here, and we need to sync up the lip sync. So the moves by Maxon face that I have in here is like a temp one. Like I think I was like driving a Velociraptor at the time. So instead, I'm going to go up to extensions, moves by Maxon, and import this 9-second clip. I'm pretty sure this is the one. So I'll double click on that, and you'll see that it easily imported it right here. The old one was just called MBM face, and this one, I'll call this maybe the
face
performance. So now everything is hooked up from the old moves by Maxon, but it's very quick to switch it around. I can open up Espresso right here and just look at this moves by Maxon face that is feeding everything here. And all I have to do is, instead of MBM face, I can drag performance to right here and let go. That's it. I did one other custom thing, which is, let's see, I can delete. Oh, one other custom thing was the eyeballs are constrained to copy the rotation of the eyes. So you can see that this eyeball has a constraint tag to target the left eye from the old moves by Maxon. So I can just dial open the new moves by Maxon and drag that into the constraint instead. So now, and this other eyeball is actually constrained to that. The eyeballs copy each other. Now I can delete the old moves by Maxon face, and we just have this one performance on here. Now I'm going to uncheck this delay tag that I have in here. I'll explain that in a moment. But if I play this through, at some point, the performance that I did will start animating on this face, which is pretty cool. The only thing is, is it called the millennial pause that it records, and then I'm just staring at the camera for a second, and then I get into it. So the timing is off. So to fix that, it's a little bit weird in the abstract, but what's kind of cool is over here, I could add a sound object. And this is going to mean nothing to you because it's going to be like poor Jason Murphy, like the audio is not going to be feeding through. But if you add a sound object, you can go down to the see. Whoops. Sound effector. I'm going to go to a soundtrack and load a sound.
Any
Specifically,
soundtrack?
I can just go to my.
Hang on, wait, Hashi, are you searching for? Are you searching for something for files?
Searching for some files.
Because I finally
this
made a
is like
drop
a fish.
for you. Ready? Hachi's searching for some files.
What? My goodness.
We have one now.
I
Oh
know.
wait, you
Yes.
made one too. You made one too. Hang on. Okay, we're
Wait,
gonna
I
play
did?
Hashi's and we'll figure out which one we want.
All right, well, I'm looking.
All right, sign off in the chat which one you think should be our permanent Hashi searches for files, or if you think we need a new one. You still haven't found it?
I did find it, actually. I just wanted to show the opening moment. So, like, basically, you had made these into plates from After Effects, and I can say open. And look at this. We've got the sound right in here. Now, if you press play, it plays. Isn't that cool?
So we can't hear it, but you can.
You
And
can't hear it,
also
but it
so
plays.
can any children that are in your office, which was the case all
Yes,
week.
this is the unbleeped version.
Yeah, so the plates
that I
turned
have
out
right
that I
here because
made-
I needed to do the full lip sync.
I forgot to bleep the plates. So when Ashi would watch this, he always had a kid in the room by accident. Well, it'd just be like dropping F-bombs loudly while he was editing this or working on this.
Yes, Sophia has two little lovey bears.
Hello, Sophia.
And I was testing this, and Sophia covered their ears. So, what do you do? Amazing. So if you've added a sound object and linked it to something, but you're not hearing it, it's possible you need to go down to your dope sheet right here, which is just that little diamond there, and then go to create, add special track sound.
Ooh.
Which, yeah, like, and I don't remember if I doubled up what I just did there, but I remembered not hearing it, and then I did that, and I could. So I can hear this as it's scrubbing, which is pretty cool. And now it means I can go to the performance right here, and in the options down here, there's a start frame, which right now is at 0. And you can see this full take is 142 frames. My Moves by Maxon recording was about 239. So I'm just going to subtract like 50 to start with, and then play it back for myself.
And again, you're hearing this, but we're not.
So yeah, so it's amazing. So basically now I can offset this, and so the lip sync is matching the sound here. I'm going to turn off my sound, in fact. But it's so great. Look at that. Now we have a performance mapped to a character. I think what I actually did was, because it's parented to a little null here, I did a little bit of cheating the face out a bit, just so you could see more of the features. What? Why is it not wanting to do that now? No. Am I in the wrong mode now? Oh, yeah. It just looks separate.
It pauses. What do you, the viewers at home, think?
Oh, gosh. Amazing. All right, so like I think I cheated the face a little bit like this, just to get his eyes a little bit more visible, because I was loving the way the eyes looked. But yeah, tracked face, lip sync, relatively moving with this performance. It's really fun. It's like, I feel like this is more detail than we've put into performance before.
So good.
And then, to render him in Redshift, it's all the classic things that we have done before. I can start the IPR, and right now there's nothing, but I just jump into the...
that look is always just like searching a haunted
So great.
house at night with a flashlight. Look.
It absolutely is. So let's see. Hey, look, there's a kitchen.
Well, they're in a
drag the
bathroom,
kitchen
but
in
the
there.
kitchen could work.
All right, so
For
kitchen.
for those of you who missed it, real quick, Hashi just drags from the asset browser. He's able to just drag an HDRI from there over into an empty spot in the object manager or into your scene, and it automatically creates a dome light for you, which is very handy.
So I could turn down the exposure on this maybe, and then I'll try rotating it on horizon to see if any specific rotation looks good. I feel like there's not enough interesting lighting coming from this. So
you can rotate the light around to get the hot spot, because we can see there is a hot spot in there. So rotating it around.
That's what I thought.
I don't know if it's as hot as
not this one. I think it's too consistently there. So it's a good thing that we still that I have more right here. I can just drag a different option onto here. I can rotate this one on her. There we go. Now you can see more clear.
They have almost no key on them too. If you look so.
So
or I'm sorry, they almost no fill on them.
Yeah, because look at that. So I'm dragging the exposure on this to be pretty low, and I'll angle it this way a little bit, and then I'm going to add a little area light. And what's fun about that is I can make it rectangular, and then just move it back in. Whoops, here we go. Grab the gizmo, move it back in Z space, do a little bit of rotating of it. And I'm actually not positive where this null is in Z space. I'm just guessing. Let me see. Okay, if I slide this in Z, whoops.
You could go into the top view or something, Hashi.
It affects I know. I could switch to the camera over here. Oh, that's my face there. I can highlight the mesh that I want to look at and tap O, and it'll center them. So there's that. The area light that I created, where is that? Oh, way over here. Okay, so it's behind. It should be about this close, I think. I'll switch back to this camera and say, whoops. Good gravy. Yeah, it's about there, about this big. And then if I go to its exposure, I can turn up how much it affects.
Spider-Man, turn up how much it affects.
I feel like it's doing so little.
Yeah, why is that?
Red. Oh, is it faced the opposite way? Shut up.
Boom.
So bright.
And now he's
look at that. So bright. Okay, so let's take this back to 100 and this down to 2. There we go, and I can adjust the exposure up until I can feel a little bit of it illuminating that face. Yeah, until it just looks, kind of right.
Nice.
There we go. Oh yeah, if I go back to these earlier frames, it's way too much. Let's bring down the intensity.
Spider-Man, bring down the intensity.
Heck yeah.
We already had that from Nick Smith earlier in the chat.
Well, we're going to have more.
We will.
Probably. Speaking of the chat, there was not a consensus on which of the Hashis looking for files to drop is the best.
Oh, really? I would have been certain it was Hashis.
No. Patrick GG said the first one, obviously, but Stu says both are great. Michael Pollack says it happens often enough that we need a few.
Look.
And Mr. Keyframes wants the Benny Hill soundtrack added to a new one, a third one.
If Stu says both are great.
Maybe it's both. Maybe both is happening at the same time.
It got longer that time.
Oh, sorry. I fell asleep during the drop.
Longer.
What were we doing?
Sorry, took a quick nap.
Oh, I was probably going to render these. Yeah.
Oh, you got to render? Well,
obviously, I don't want to render them right on top of this plate. So all you got to do is you go over to your camera right here where it's overriding the background with this image and to say, turn that off. And same thing for this dome light. I don't want them in there either. So if I go over to the dome light.
So you go to the details tab, into the details tab, into the details tab. Oh, you haven't updated yet, Hashi.
Yes, I have.
Have you?
Oh, wait. Oh.
Warning. This is not updated.
I refuse to close it before the show to update it. Anyway, yeah, I can turn this off. So yeah, in the future,
Hang
you can
on,
go to the
Hashi.
details tab.
In the future, it's camera contribution in the details tab.
And the future is
what
now.
you need to do for this.
Oh, very nice. So there'll be a camera contribution. We were playing with all of these contributions the other week with our T-Rex. But yeah,
Yes.
I can now export this as a lovely sequence with some transparency.
Stu says we need a drop for Seth having too many drops.
No,
Oh wait, maybe it's this one.
Amazing.
you're wrong.
Yeah, that's the one.
You're wrong.
So Seth, what did you do with this once I had this done?
I will tell you
And as
right
Seth
after.
gets set up to tell you, before we take a break, commercial break, there's another how to animate a 3D face with motion capture at Cinema 4D that was done a while back. Kind of more of a chill, as Hashi and Seth just kind of hang out and do it. The link for that is in the chat, and we'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, that was like 5 seconds. And so you joined at the amazing time. So listen, if you're just joining us, we are obviously turning things into things. And now it befalls to me to join in and be turning Richie, cousin Richie, into Thing from Fantastic Four. I have imported this is not the render that Hashi, we're not going to sit and wait for that to render. So I have actually brought in the previous render that Hashi made during our prep. So
Yeah, here's one we baked earlier.
Yes, we baked earlier. Thank you. And so this is brought in as a TIFF sequence. It is beautiful, just the way it is. We love it. So
And then, do you need me to give you a hand, Seth?
oh yeah,
Because,
I do need a hand. I'm going to
because,
focus on the head part for now because there's a lot of components to this. But if you want, yes, I have your hand. I have your previous hand, but did you? We haven't talked about the hand actually.
So if you wanted to cut to.
Oh
to what
my
I've got
God!
over here.
I'm sorry. There's your hand.
I've got this incredibly great animation. This like emoji cycling through.
That's amazing. So
It's amazing.
And now you rendered that, however, I actually haven't, because you started the comp with the hand stuff. I never actually really touched like the hand. So was it static, or did you actually track render?
I did track it to where his hand was.
But in 3D or
in
2D?
After Effects.
Oh God.
In
Oh, God.
2D.
In 2D. Okay, cool.
Just
Then
copied the rotation and position of that. Basically, the whole elbow and
I see.
hand, and just
Yeah.
replaced the sleeve with like a photoshopped thicker sleeve to fit this hand.
Okay, cool. We'll get to that. So right now we're going to focus up here on his head and neck. So this is how exactly as it comes in. There's a couple things that I can do. First off, I need to, his head is obviously sticking out from behind the new head. And there are a couple fun tricks. First one I'll go ahead and try is if I just solo my plate here, and I'm going to drop a liquefy onto it. I don't know if this is going to work for this specific shot, but we did it for other shots. And if I click the what? Okay, the pucker tool, hold down Command, make bigger. And real quick, actually, before I do anything, I've got this null object, this 3D null from the GeoTrack here. I am going to.
Oh, I know a certain Stu who's going to be very happy.
I'm going to alt-click. Oh, you know what? Wait, wait, that makes me wonder if I'm doing what you think I'm doing.
You're going to do it. Yeah, you got it.
Well, I'm going to alt-click this distortion mesh offset. And now the thing is, before I do anything, you'd think I could just pick whip this up to the null object's position parameter, but I can't do that because this is a 3D object. And this is a two-dimensional parameter here. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to pick whip this, the distortion mesh offset up to the null, just the object itself. I'm going to drop it there.
Wow.
And the expression opens up, and I'm click dot, and then 2, capital COMP, 2 comp.
Oh, you're doing this the hard way.
Oh, I'm sure I am.
There's
This
a
is
brand
the-
new tool.
this-
There's a brand
this
new
is
tool
the
in
way.
After Effects, Seth. There's a brand new thing in After Effects that makes this way easier.
But it's in the
Just
beta,
came
right?
out.
It's not in this current version, right?
Yeah, it's in the beta.
All right, go to
Yeah,
hell.
yeah,
Come back
yeah.
to me in 6 months or a year. All right, don't go to hell.
For
Stay
those
here.
of you who want, for those of you who want to see the new feature in the AE beta that I love so much, the tutorial I made about it is linked in the chat.
Terrific. And just in case you don't know what that did or what that is, why don't I go ahead and just say, and just show you like face. I'm going to type this up and scale it up. What the heck? And let me just do what I did. I'm going to pick whip, drag it to this 3D null, hit 2 comp, parentheses, and then brackets 0, comma 0. Let me make that white so you can see it. Now it is, this 2-dimensional object is parented to the
Yes.
where the null
like a
appears
lovely,
to
like Snapchat filter.
Yeah, appears to sit in 2-dimensional space. So, why did I do that for the distortion mesh? Why don't I turn it off and show you? Is if I click the pucker tool, and if I hold down Command and click and drag, I can change the size of the tool. But if I do this, I'm making his head significantly smaller. But now,
Whip.
if I play it,
Kick, whip.
This was a tried and true method
but with
for a lot of
raptors.
raptor shots.
Absolutely. But look at this. It's staying right where it's staying right in that spot where
It's
I
only
painted it.
good for that one frame.
Perfect.
Exactly. So instead, I will turn this back on. And now with that distortion mesh offset expression, parent expression, whatever order of words I'm supposed to use, I will now paint the pucker tool. And this is, I'm already showing you why I can't use it because the lamp and all the stuff in the background gets puckered too. But you'll see now it follows them.
Yes.
We did this a lot with raptors. And you'd say, even if this stuff wasn't messed up, what about this stuff up here? Well, a little trick is if you had CC Reptile and you put it before liquefy, and let's do slide, and then
that
expand.
reptile was from
up.
the Spider-Man.
I like Unfold personally, but
I do too, but it
I
just
look at this character.
it repeats his head up
That you've
there. So if
created.
I do slide,
This Punchinello.
yeah. So this
Puppet
isn't going to work for this
character.
shot, but this is a good tip for if you're needing to do this kind of thing, or if you're just wanting to make
Well,
characters look
turn the
ridiculous.
rock head back on and show why.
Oh yeah,
Because check this out. Because now look at that. Now the
He's
head
sitting
isn't
behind
really
it.
like sticking out in very many places.
unfortunately, this happens over
It's
here.
doing a little bit of that Photoshop fail magazine cover thing. But,
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So what I'm going to do instead is very simple. I have gone ahead and I did, I'm just going to paint him out entirely. So I am going to,
Great comment from Stu.
what do you say? I watched this show to learn
Just
how to use
so many favorite things.
So there's a lot of ways you can paint Richie out here. My favorite way right now is just to find a decent frame to work with and just click create reference frame in the content aware fill panel, and then that opens up Photoshop. Okay, calm down. I'm going to click Command
The
H
other
to
member of our
immediately get rid of those
Fantastic Four,
guides.
everyone.
And then I'm just going to do a little this. And
Creating a little 90s Dune shield.
yep, and then click generative fill and don't type anything. Just be like, figure it out.
fill it
And,
up.
Yeah, it's generative.
There we go.
So-
That's right.
all right, so now I've got some paint out options, and this one looks
There we
pretty
go.
good.
That
So
third one.
third one done.
I
Save.
thought the angle was a little bit better on the
Yeah.
siding.
I save it, and
There you go.
there it is. So now it is, however, only one frame. So I can go up here while clicking this reference frame. I can go up here and click time freeze frame, and then just drag it the whole thing. Or I can yeah, use my Whirly Scripts.
No, you can
button
parent trap this.
where I click freeze and then it goes like this. So you're right. I could parent trap this and just do a little this.
Done.
But I think the background moves.
It does move. It's a slight drift.
Yes, very slight drift. So
Haley Mills would be. Yeah, would watch the playback and be like, "We've got to do it over again."
Are you spot clone tracking it?
will you just calm down, Michael, and just let me?
Sorry.
Yes.
Spot clone tracker
No,
is
yes.
how the hand tracking was done, by the way.
So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to. I have a button that makes this quicker, but just to teach, I will do this. I'm going to apply this little thing called Spot Clone Tracker, and I am going to say I want it to. I'm going to click this checkbox for tracker only, and I'm going to pick.
It's one of my favorite features of it. Like I use this tool all the time now.
Go through and find a spot that doesn't get covered up, and it looks like this corner right here is probably a good one. And I'll just track this corner. I guess this is when we want to. All right.
What I love about the spot clone tracker result is that it's tracking that patch of pixels with a little bit of luma variance, and so you get a pretty faithful position that doesn't like jitter as much.
Yep.
As like a point tracker.
Absolutely. So export position is checked. That's the only one I want. So I'm going to create a null, and now that created a spot clone tracker null, and that null moves around with that. So then I can just parent the reference frame, making sure that I'm on the frame that it was originally created from.
Good point.
Parent it to the spot clone tracker. And now you can't even tell over the feed, but it's getting a little subtle, a little drift. It's moving like we want it to. So if I parent trap it and do a little feathering just to help, it seems to be working just fine. And his little finger, I saw a fingy. Hang on. There it is right there. So let's just...
Well, the finger's going to be covered up by the hand finger shortly anyway.
We don't know. We don't ever want to just assume. It does a little move at the
Clean
beginning.
plate is always, yeah.
So now I'll call that clean because it is. I'm going to move it down here below the plate. And I went ahead, took the liberty of rotoing the torso.
Yes.
So now...
Perfect for all your headless horseman effect.
Turn him back on. And now we got this happening, which this is fun. So let's talk about the neck. Here's...
Let's talk about the neck.
Let's talk about the neck. Here's what we did for the neck. There's lots of ways there's no official way to create a neck, as God once said. And so the way I've chosen to do it today, I am going to do a couple things. Really, I'm just going to duplicate the head. I'm going to name this original one head. And I'm going to call this one neck. And I'm going to move it down to like right here. Right? Now look.
Uh-huh.
It's not perfect. It moves
rotates
around
perfectly with it.
It rotates, but we're going to, like, if I put this back behind the torso.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and so I have this head roto here that I did for this very reason. I'm going to use it as a track mat. So if I pick whip this track mat to the head roto here, now it's like it kind of works pretty well, except it's rotating all over the place, and there's a mouth in there at some point. Let me turn off the head so you can see. Like, I don't know what happened with the roto right there. Oh, the hand came in by accident there. All right. Good to know. But that's not really super suitable. So I instead... It's so funny, that stupid thing.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, why didn't we go with that?
Just this version?
Right there. Look at that.
All right, so I'm going to duplicate the plate, and I'm going to call
Amazing.
this neck lockdown, or what did I want to call this? I'm just going to call it neck for now. It's a little confusing because I have this neck render, but okay. I'm going to turn off the spot clone tracker. I don't need it there. And I'm going to apply one of our favorite tools, Lockdown. And this keeps coming up for me. I don't know why, but it works just fine. So Lockdown, I'm going to click Pop Out. And I'm going to select a few spots that I think I'm going to command and click a few select spots that I feel like it should have no problem tracking. Let's start with these. Maybe his eye for some reason. I don't really need it. I don't know if I want. Let's just try. And then maybe right there. And then I'm going to click Track All. And let's see which ones work and which ones don't. Some of them got loose here.
Yeah, not
All
terrible.
Alt click that one and get rid of that one. And so now I think that should be fine. If I just now command click this kind of area around here, and then I say auto triangulate, that interpolation isn't so bad.
Yeah, you're basically looking at like the mesh that's over the area of the neck that'll fall into that transparency area, and it looks
Change it
pretty
to
good.
Unified plane. That's actually moving around even more. So I'm going to go back to position, scale, rotation. This is fun. If you go into stabilize tracking and watch it here, you can see like what you're stabilizing. And if you want, you can even...
I love this view always.
Me too. There's not really a lot of information to get, but I wonder if I select that one and just track that one as well. I'm getting too meticulous here. It really doesn't matter for the next shot, but I still just love perfecting stuff.
It's such a great process. Like it's so fun to see this work.
It is. And like it can be a little like intimidating at first, but Vranos has got some really killer tutorials on how to use it that make it very intuitive very quickly. And then it's just like any good tool, it's State Farm is there, and also it's empowering. All right, so now let me clear the mesh and auto
Jason Murphy
triangulate
says
again.
if you press Control Shift Alt to make those outside points, they won't track. By the way.
Oh, that's true. Those outside ones you can, but also like as long as you don't hit track all again, you should be fine. So now I'm going to X out of here and I'm just going to click Lockdown.
Lockdown.
And it looks like that marker right there shows me that's the frame that it decided to do the lockdown on. So I'm going to say locked neck, or no, I'm sorry.
Locked neck monster.
Brilliant.
That's pretty funny.
And then I'm going to say rename this neck stuff. And if I go into this pre-comp, so like this, excuse me, this soloed layer of this neck is the layer that is going to appear in the comp with the new neck stuff. If I go into neck stuff, this pre-comp, this is where I place any new neck stuff I want. So what I mean by that is, let me paste this guy in here and put it where I want it. Let me turn off this checkerboard. And I'm actually going to go ahead and freeze this guy. Freeze. So it's just a still essentially. And put it like right there. And so now this is really fun to come back to and watch as if now it's moving like this. So let me turn on the background and then maybe the torso roto. Now this is what the neck is looking like. And so if I then track matte that to the head roto, now it's this. That's crazy to look at.
Look at that.
And so now if I turn the head
and it even
back
has
on,
that little ridge that kind of gives it a bit of a shadow. Look at that.
Oh.
And now we've got it. Grover thing.
There we go. Now he's got a neck.
Oh my gosh, we should replace
Oh, I gotta fix that.
Grover
right
the
there, though.
waiter with this head saying this dialogue to that stuffy old man.
I need to fix this rotor.
Waiter, there's a fly in my soup. This is a
Alt click. Ah. I don't want the hand. All right,
Oh,
should
look
be
at
good.
this photo brushing in that visibility mode. It's wild.
Well, I don't usually do it. It just was set like that because I had previously frozen it. All right, so I know some of this has been tedious, but the real fun stuff, the results are about to show up. I'm going to do a couple things on this wide shot that I don't think I did on the original wide shots, but I do them on the close-ups, and I'm going to do the wide shot stuff here. You know what? I've got a little sliver right there of something happening, like that's coming from the head roto. It's like, here's the head roto and here is the torso roto, and they're not perfect. So what I could do is just extend either one of them. I could just shift the edge of the head roto out just a little bit.
Shift the edge.
And that's fine. Well, not up there. It's not fine.
Let's say for... Oh, yeah. Looking at the wrong thing.
Maybe torso roto. No, I don't want to extend that. Maybe if I shift the edge out a little bit. It's still funky. I also realize I'm getting this weird thing happening up here, which this is what I might need to apply the liquefy thing to. So why don't... Oh, liquefy! Come on, Seth. You
Look
big
at that
dummy.
frame right there. It's like a cool
Here's what I'm
little
going to do. Liquefy. I'm going to make sure I'll click the distortion mesh offset, parent it to the object track, do the 2 comp, and then the zeros. And now I'm going to just do a little this. Get out of here, you stupid thing. Get back. Oh, I should be doing this to the... Shit, I did the wrong thing. Copy. I need to do it to the head roto. Sorry, this will make sense in a second. I know this is a little crazy, but...
The results are always so cool. Like,
yes.
I feel like, yeah, in After Effects, especially if you're doing something with a bunch of steps, it's always so satisfying to get to see it finally come together.
I'm just going to stretch the neck down just a little bit and see if that works out okay. Let me turn on the torso roto just to see. Let me put the torso roto ahead on top of it. I might want to... Who knows what this is going to do, but let's see. I need to parent it. I need to keyframe it. So from right here, maybe I'm going to click the distortion mesh timer, the timer next to it, to keyframe this out a little bit and then out a little more.
Oh, my goodness. Seth, while you're fixing that,
Yeah.
I've heard that I have you to thank for helping with this. We did talk about our Valentine's earlier, but I received this loveliness.
Yay! I didn't want to ask and spoil it.
Check it out. Let me see.
Apparently there is a mug in your house that keeps getting stolen back and forth between you and Jamie. And so maybe...
I love it. It's from a coffee. And then on top of that, it also comes with a bonus image right here.
I didn't know about that. Incredible.
Heck yeah.
Oh, Mandy rules.
Yeah, and this is on here because, I've told Mandy in several romantic gestures that she looks like Gizmo to me. And I was like, no, like in a lovable way, not in a, I promise.
Like a Gizmo you want to be with. Okay. So now I liquefied that head roto.
Buddy.
And so I think now this new neck should be looking good. It is not perfect by any means, but I think I like it.
Yeah, let's ship it for this one.
So I am going to do a couple
dumb
things.
internet things.
I'm going to do a couple things. Now, one, I'm going to take this torso, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to call it close shadow. And I'm going to apply a drop shadow and angle the direction kind of up and to the right, maybe about 24%. Soften it quite a bit. And I'm going to click shadow only. And I'm going to put this underneath the torso roto. And I'm going to say set matte and set it to the head roto and say effects and masks. So now that's what it looks like.
Ooh, little contact.
Yeah, just a little. And
shadowy.
It's like here it is without, here it is with. It's just a nice little extra something in the comp.
It is. It's not, and like so many of these lessons we learned doing raptor faces. But
yes. Okay. I also want to make sure this neck is this neck is using a track mat. I shouldn't have done that. What I should have done instead is pre-comped it. I'm going to take neck stuff up here, which is what Lockdown's using, and this neck
stuff. And
I'm going to pre-comp them and definitively call this neck. And I don't think anything changed. Oh, except it does need this. No, it doesn't. Okay. Now I'm going to apply a set matte. Set it to the head roto and effects and masks. And this is so I can bring
now
it into
just
Super
one
Comp.
layer doing all that work instead of multiple with a track mat.
Yeah. So just so I can get a sense for all of my
better,
layers.
I feel like you're doing this all to prepare this superhero for Super Comp.
Well, couldn't have said it better myself, and that's because you said it. I'm going to select all of these layers. This is my just to go through my plate, my clean patch for the plate, this fake neck that we're using under here.
Which
our
works
clothes
beautifully, to be honest. It's amazing.
It really does. Our clothes shadow, our torso roto, and the rendered head. And I'm going to select all of them, go to effects, effect RGVFX Super Comp. And now it opens up this other little panel over here. Lovely little panel. Now, this is the magic part. Are we ready for the magic? I
would love some magic.
I'm going to turn off the clean patch so I can see Eben back there. I'm going to briefly turn off the neck here and the closed shadow and the torso roto for now. So I just have my head and my background plate. On my head, I'm going to select color correction, and I'm going to go up here to this button, match background, and I'm going to click it. And right there, I'm going to do that one more time just so we can see. Boom. That's like 90% of the work. Yeah, it's done.
Look at that.
I might even add a little. So let's watch. If he goes over here and gets in front of the light right here.
Oh yeah.
I think a little bit. So if I just let me see. If I turn off.
You're in the wrong.
If I turn off Super Comp, there's already You can. Okay. Shut up. If I think I have a bypass for that. I don't for that. Oh yes, I do. So, this is with super comp. This is without. I feel like there's a little bit of light wrap, tiny bit already happening naturally, but maybe that's just all in my head. What I want to do is add a light wrap and set it to highlights only. I'm going to set it to 75. So like now you can see what this is doing is just letting a little bit of that.
It's not the whole wall. It's just
that light in the brighter part of it. So already this is very fun to see and fun to watch. I am going to go and do this. I can just copy all effects, go to the neck, and paste effects. And if I want, I can even darken the neck just a little bit. Let me turn that gray point down.
Oh, good idea.
So it's a little darker.
Oh, yeah, that gives it sets it in there a little better.
I might actually turn the gray point down on the main guy, too, because there really is there's no fill.
There's none. Unlike...
Yes, unlike our show.
Look at that guy.
So let's turn
Rocking
our
out.
torso rotor or closed shadow and our clean plate back on. And that's looking pretty fun. Oh, a little more weirdness happening on that neck. So I might need to go back into the torso roto. I missed that part.
Torso roto.
Not torso roto, sorry, head roto. And it's so stupid.
Slowly liquefying him into Daniel Stern somehow.
Let me move this chin in. Okay. Okay. So now there's no more neck weirdness happening. Let me just double check and make sure.
Wait, zoom in on his face for a second. I just want to see. God.
It's so freaking fun. Now there's a couple things like to match grain that we could do. I have my, well, never mind. I'm not going to teach my. We'll do grain some other time.
The grain process is always very fun to demonstrate over.
It's not on a live stream. It's not
live streams.
We can do that on another episode. I have my favorite one that I like to use, but the problem is I learned on my movie it uses a tool that isn't 32-bit, and that starts to show up in places. Anyway, there's actually a great process for doing it in Super Comp that Stu himself has taught us on the show, I believe. But for now, this is what we end up with. I'm trying to think if there were besides the hand, if there were other steps in here. Oh yeah, duh. So a couple things like, I think I also want to apply Real Smart Motion Blur.
Oh, that's a good call.
To the head.
I rendered this performance just, like progressive or whatever. It just, there's no motion blur or anything like that.
Okay.
By the last take, as we were getting more confident with these, I did actually render it with some motion blur, and I was surprised how little it impacted the render time. Just at the default, enable motion blur a little bit.
It must just mean that I put that on the wrong layer. It must just mean we did it wrong. I didn't know that would spark it. Anyway, so that is how we essentially did the comps on all of these shots. I'm trying to think if there were any specific tricks that we did on the other ones.
Do you have the edit loaded up that we could maybe scrub through?
Yeah.
I just want to just to point out how cool this thing turned out. I really do love that. And also, I do have a little treat for anyone at home who is jazzed by the idea of rocking out as well.
Rocking out? Like in a rock? Solid as a rock.
Hopefully y'all are watching on a larger format screen, like your computer monitor while you're working or something like that. But if your smartphone is handy, you're welcome to scan this code, and it's nothing nefarious, but it is going to ask if it can use your camera, and you'll see why in a moment. So feel free to take this opportunity.
Yes.
To
now, does this open
this.
as the browser version, or does this open?
This is the browser version.
Okay.
Actually, if what this will take you to is this exciting. Let's see. I don't know if this shows off any info I don't want to show. I think it's fine. We made fantastic thing face filter out of this object that we had added a bunch of pose morphs to and everything like that. It be because of the help of our friend Brielle Garcia, who was on one of our shows a little while ago, who knows everything about AR face mapping, stuff like that. We're able to put together this thing. So join one of the 120,000 people who have used this lens since.
Oh my gosh, it works. So it works in my browser. So here I am.
The link is in the chat for those of you who don't have a smartphone to point at your screen real quick.
Now, if you're old school and you're still rocking Snapchat, you can just search up thing, Fantastic Four or Fantastic Thing.
I love that my hair is in there if I lean down.
Oh my God. Wait, look up again. Let me see those eyes, and let me.
Oh, there we go. Hello.
Enunciate something crazy.
Hello, my name is Seth, and I'm very excited to be here.
This is getting the most out of our stupid model. What I love about him is that he's like on the road to making this character. Like it doesn't match the movie really, but it's like he's a little bit Fantastic Four. He's a little bit Donkey Kong. He's a little
very
bit
much,
very very Donkey Kong. But yes, I made a TikTok version of it, but I'm putting them on blast. Their effects house program is still a freaking mess. I made it. I can't save the files and reopen them. I can only publish them immediately from the build, or not. I can't save them because of some legacy issue they have. So, sorry, TikTokers, you don't get it yet.
Sorry, TikTokers.
Until they patch this thing. But it's what's nice is that once all these blend shapes exist, the Moves by Maxon uses the hierarchy of the AR kit, blending shapes, and so do all of the Snapchat and everything else. So it's all the same things that just feed into it. Look at that.
Yeah, my favorite one is this one. This is my favorite one.
We've ever been rendering something with Redshift that was going to go directly next to other live action footage.
Look at it. The detail you got in your shader, Hashi, it looks so good. Speaking of Snapchat, by the way, if you want to see the episode where we hung out with Brielle Garcia, the link for it is in the chat.
Woo!
I love this one. It's so good.
Gosh, it's so great. And the sound design you did on this is so good. It's hard. I didn't hear it at first because I was playing it on my phone. And then I put on headphones and I was like, oh, I can hear all this like neck rolling and stuff like that.
I love that you think that.
Someone in the chat commented on it.
It was very difficult to find. I still am not super happy with it because it's just I had to imagine that they probably built some kind of synthesis, some kind of tool that could take they could synthesize the sound of rock, rock. Wow, that was the coolest thing I've ever said.
No.
Wow, sorry. We're gonna take a quick break when we on synthesize the sound of rock, and we'll be right back after this.
You're impossibly fast and strong, and sometimes you speak like you're from a different time. You know what you are.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, my daughter has just started watching the Twilight films, and also
exciting,
turning people.
Oh, we went through them just recently here too.
Oh, you did?
Wow.
Yes.
They are worse than I ever thought they could be. I had not seen them before.
They were, yeah.
But there's a moment in the first one that is the funniest thing I've.
So many talented people coming together to make.
Yeah, there are for real. And like, look, the thing is, my daughter loves.
It's hard to
them,
overcome the source material.
I'm also not saying they should be any better. I'm saying they're perfect just the way they are, which is bad. I think the first one, though, has the moment that is maybe the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, where she's like, she wakes up in the hospital and her mom is there, and her mom is telling her this version of what happened that's not entirely true, but it still flashes back to a moment that didn't happen, where she says, "You fell down the stairs," and then it cuts to her rolling down the stairs, and then it cuts back, she goes, "And he fell out a window," and then it cuts to her just blasting through a window. I mean, just like horizontally in the air.
It's like
just absolutely smashing the window to smithereens. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to make a drop just for it at some point. What else do we want to do here today on the show? I mean, we do have that other scene that we did. Do you have that rendered? Let me see.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever actually put it together. I think I just output the plates individually.
Oh,
but yeah,
well,
we should.
Why don't I open
we
it
got
up?
We got to sound edit that. I can do something stupidly fast, which is just. I know that we had all talked about Human Torch a little bit. And
I did.
Seth, I know you
terrible.
did some experimenting with this.
It was let me show the crappy After Effects version of that, and then you can show the cool Cinema 4D version of it. How's that?
Let's do it.
So, let me open up After Effects. So, this is a terrible version. Where did I render it? A project Seth. Well, we don't have one for me searching for things.
Oh no.
Here we go. Found
Seth searching for files on his computer.
This is like the 2014 version of how I would teach this in a tutorial. It's not anything.
Yes.
So that's like the 2D way you could start to do these effects. There's a lot more cool stuff happening in the actual shot from Fantastic Four, but that's there if you want it. I think there's also, what else did I do?
That's there.
It's there.
Amazing.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, in a super, super fast fashion, let me show this off. So, download a random character from Mixamo with the flying animation on him like that. I'm not even concerned about the texture on this character. I just want to go up to here and say, let's create a, whoops, what am I looking for? Whoops. Wait. What am I doing? Forces, wind. So I'm going to add a little wind blowing at them.
Doesn't really apply, but
it works pretty good. So let's turn this wind speed up to like, I don't know, 1500 centimeters.
Can we talk about effect? Can we talk about visual effects design real quick for a second while you're like, I just wanted because we were talking about the Fantastic Four at the house because I had your thing up on the screen and the kids wanted to see it. Thankfully, the bleeped version, and they started asking who is that guy. So we started talking about the Fantastic Four, and I showed them a picture of this comic book, and they're like, well, that's not what someone would look like on fire from the comic books. I'm like, well, comic book artists don't want to draw a lot of flames. But they're really good at drawing bodies. So, and plus you need to be able to see what this person's doing. So they, in the comic books, it's just a black almost silhouette of a guy, and then kind of flame-ish accents on it, and then of course the trail behind him. So we had a whole little talk about it, and the movie has the same thing. Like you clearly see the shape of the person inside this fire. They're taking a really interesting direction from the comics, how they're stylizing it in the movie, in that you're seeing the person amongst the fire instead of just a ball of fire, which I thought was very interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Is. So yeah, all I did was I went over to the animated mesh right here and added a pyro emitter tag to it, and honestly, this is basically doing the rest. Oh yeah, there's a character on fire. That's if I turn the voxel size down. This is more what I would do if I were trying to actually cache this legitimately. But yeah, it is a very, it's surprisingly quick to be able to add fire to something. I would probably actually go to the thickness, maybe set it down to a lower number for this size of mesh. Here we go. Yeah, Human Torch. He's done.
It's done a little.
You get it. Pyro is fun. Right now, I have the step count is a little low, but anyway, yeah, that's all. I was just gonna say you can set fire to even animated mesh, and then the few things that I've done on the emitter tag itself is I turn down the density, which is basically smoke. Like if I turn up the, oops, that was too high. Let me turn the density back up to 10. Oh, it's going to try to catch up with me. Here we go. So if you have the density on, it'll add, smoke to your fire like this. And if I uncheck the density and I'm just rendering the temperature, then we'll have just the fire on here. There we go. Density is disabled now. And so if I reset this, I should probably turn my voxel count. I think I set it to 1, which is ambitious for a live stream. But I just wanted you to get to see the detail. Anyway,
you do need detail.
You could do the Human Torch with this, and it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, enjoy that crazy face filter. I feel like I should gather up the moves by Maxon thing, since it's all built from scratch, and make it a thing that people can grab.
Make it a thing that people.
In case they want to copy the this exciting pipeline. All right. Stop.
We had this other scene that I think you did some work on. I want to say.
I did.
Goes to here. And it went a little something like this.
We're doing well.
Hey.
Annie.
You good?
I can't.
Yeah.
We can't see it.
Yes, you can. Just try harder. Ready? Trying. He did it.
Hey.
You good?
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Your suit is nice.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
We're suits now.
Nice.
So, I don't know if it's funnier if he has a Fantastic Four suit on or if he's just a rock guy, like wearing a suit. And the suit is what they're talking about. Now, you did some renders of this, if I remember correctly.
I did. Let me let's see. Where did I put them? They are in the renders. Oh yeah, Richie and Sid VFX. Oh. I don't have them with sound.
VFX 01 and VFX 02?
Yes. VFX 02 and VFX B01.
Copy. Naturally.
Brian White wants to know how long it took to render your head, the thing, by the way.
When optimized, it was 20 seconds a frame, even for the extreme close-up, which was the one that took the longest. This one right here took 5 seconds a frame on a 6-year-old computer.
Hey.
You good?
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Your suit is nice.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
We're suits now.
Nice.
I think
That is great.
Hey.
You good?
you good is funny to me. It's like,
You good?
I'm not a rock now.
It's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Also,
And you fell down 2 flights of stairs. Went through a window.
Anyway.
Gosh, that's so good.
We've never gotten
Hey,
learning
folks.
done this quickly on the show before.
This was so fun. And yeah, please share that bizarre live version with your friends. Search it up on the old Snapchat, or find this video and scroll to that
Link in the chat.
Yeah, link in the chat. Look at that.
And be sure to make sure you're subscribed to our VFX and Chill channel. And go ahead and subscribe to all the other Red Giant, Maxon Training, Action Movie Kid, Action Movie Dad channels. And also get that Mission in Hospital Spinal Reckoning video and share it with all your loved ones. Tell them to share it with all their loved ones. And
Please, that would
make
be
us
fantastic for us.
complete.
It would be fantastic for us.
I should just
We did
get
it.
us out of here now. We did it. Hey, is there anything we want to talk about before we go? A little early?
Hey, yeah, I've got something to say. No,
Oh no, he's drunk. Michael's about to get political.
I haven't had alcohol in a while. Anyway, there was a little bit of a release happened a week ago. Red Giant had some, and Red Shift had some new stuff come out. Specifically, Red Giant, everyone asked if Maxon Studio was going to have vertical stuff because a lot of people wanted the quick, easy, but still customizable stuff in Maxon Studio for socials. Now you can get it in vertical format. Maxon Studio has 200 new capsules just dropped in it that are designed for vertical, but it's also got settings to turn any capsule vertical, which is very handy. So that's something to be aware of. Also, Trapcode Particular got a nice, handy little new feature where if you want to use form style setups in your particular, which is great for so many things, you've now got one little handy button to tap to turn your particular system into a form style system. So then you can say you have a bunch of particles using a layer maps to be colored, and then spew a bunch of other particular style particles off of them with flocking and whatever all else you want to do. It's a very handy little feature. It's not like a huge deal, but it's very handy for just getting you saving you a bunch of clicks, just one little, and you're there. So it's nice.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the
Yes.
update. We need like a news, like a reel to kind of play under that.
You mean like a
Here's your
news kind of?
Hashi-
Yeah, I'm
Hashi-
on there. Action
Hashi's on
movie
Blue
dad,
Sky.
right?
That's the closest we have, and it is always relevant news. It's kind of evergreen.
Yeah, Hashi's on Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky. Red Giant's on Blue Sky. Go to look for Maxon. Red Giant's on there.
Chill is there too.
So am I, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, Seth, are you on there? I don't think I didn't know you were on there.
I'm so
What are
active.
you on there as?
I am.
What
so
are you on
active.
there as?
I'm on there as
Just
something.
Blue Sky and
I think.
the things.
Yeah, Seth
even-
Worley and the Blue Skies. Is that not what we're supposed to call all of our accounts? You don't have to be so quiet every time I make a joke. Now, everybody, please, for the love of God, have an incredible week. We'll be back next week, and we love you. Goodbye.
We love you all.